New tonight at 5, making history from Mayor Pete in Indiana to Secretary Pete in D.C. The man who is trailblazing a path for young politicians and for those in the LGBTQ community.
Hard times for so many Hoosier households. Many families find themselves one paycheck away from homelessness. But tonight, millions of dollars coming to the Circle City could make a difference as cold weather sets in.
And then the Indiana company that is making headway tracking the mutating COVID-19 virus. The work one lab is doing to save lives and stay ahead of the changing coronavirus.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5. Streaming now.
Now first at 5, it's still a few days away, but it's time to prepare now for the coldest air to hit Indiana in more than 2 years. Get ready for wind chills by Sunday night below 20 degrees.
Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now to help us get ready. Kevin.
And as you mentioned, we need time to get ready kind of mentally for this because it has been a while. How long has it been? 733 days since our last trip below zero, January 31st of 2019. Temperature was 6 below on that occasion. We'll certainly be competitive with that. I just want to show you nothing is imminent. As you look at national temperatures, Minneapolis is at 23. Look at Montana, 61. So the coldest air is still way up in the northern latitudes, but it will make a visit as we get later in the week. The cold core of air will be here Sunday and Monday. That's the 48-hour period that will be the coldest in our 7-day forecast, with temperatures dropping Monday morning to readings as cold as 8 below in spots. Notice the temperature trend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The big drop Sunday, and temperatures will continue to fall during the day Sunday from 15 degrees into the single digits in the afternoon. We'll still struggle Monday to reach 14. So we'll zero in on specific low temperatures for Monday morning. There's also a wild card in all of this. I'll explain why Saturday night may impact Monday morning coming up.
And with those frigid temperatures on the way, concern for people who are experiencing homelessness is at an all-time high right now. And the good news, more federal funding is on its way to help that population in the Circle City. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is awarding just over $7.2 million to Indianapolis. These Continuum of Care grants support resources aimed at helping families experiencing homelessness and those at risk of losing their homes. Normally, groups must apply for this funding, but HUD chose to renew grants for existing programs to fast-track the process since there is such an immediate need in cities across the country. The funding will go to nearly 20 local programs and organizations in the Circle City, including Damien Center. The funding is used to assist specifically with housing.
People who are homeless on the streets or in the shelters helps us get them housed permanently and provides sort of ongoing subsidy and supportive services to help them stay in housing.
The president and CEO of Damien Center says this funding will allow them to help a lot more people in 2021.
The state is expected to start receiving 13,000 additional doses of coronavirus vaccine this week. That will put our weekly total at more than 90,000, and add that to the fact that Hoosiers 65 and older are now able to receive the vaccine, and our vaccination numbers should really climb. As of this morning, nearly 587,000 Hoosiers had received at least the first dose of the COVID vaccine. That's an increase of nearly 20,000 from yesterday's number. More than 155,000 Hoosiers are now fully vaccinated. The daily report of new positive cases is the lowest since about the middle of October. Today's number is 1,567. Those results were recorded between Friday and yesterday. However, the state also reported 65 additional deaths, with most of those happening over the past 4 days. The statewide total is now 9,677 since March.
Essential Indiana Private Lab says it can now detect the new COVID-19 variants. ARIA Diagnostics has been testing people for months, either using a nasal or mouthwash test to detect COVID-19. Now the Indy-based company says it will be able to pinpoint if someone has been infected by the variants traced back to Brazil, the United Kingdom, and South Africa.
If I know something, I can take action.
That's right. I feel like it's almost a year ago where there's still so many unknowns and that we really just need to be cautious. I think we need to treat every positive, every symptom as potentially contagious, and just be careful.
For now, Aria says its nasal test is the best way to detect COVID-19 and its mutations.
Indiana senators are raising concerns following a WRTV investigation into a program meant to help struggling veterans. That program has failed to get fully off the ground 3 years later. Veterans with traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress disorder can benefit from hyperbaric oxygen therapy. The state legislature appropriated $1 million 3 years ago, but WRTV Investigates has uncovered that only $272,000 has been spent and only one veteran has been partially treated. The state's Department of Veterans Affairs says COVID-19 halted the program last year. Today, the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs and the Military expressed concerns about the delays and vowed to find out how the money has been spent.
I'd just like to, challenge each and every committee member in here. Anytime we appropriate funds for a program like this and we have an agency spend 27% of those funds and nobody go through the program, that should give us all pause. And it should cause us to ask many a question. So I appreciate you running point on that, Mr. Chairman, and I look forward to being a part of those conversations because I think it's in all of our best interests, it's in veterans' best interest to get to the bottom of this and figure out what the heck's going on.
Today, the Senate committee passed Senate Bill 91 and now goes on to the full Senate for consideration. It will extend the hyperbaric oxygen therapy program for veterans through June of 2025. Purdue University does brain scans and research for the project. The university told us it spent a chunk of the money to develop the program. Well, senators are looking into whether Purdue's researchers receive salaries from the program, even when it was put on pause.
2 deadly shootings in other parts of the country are making national headlines tonight. We start with a heartbreaking scene in Oklahoma. Police were called to a home in Muskogee early this morning and discovered the bodies of an adult and 4 small children who had been shot. Another small child was pronounced dead at a hospital. A woman was also taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. When police arrived, the suspect was still on scene holding a gun. An officer fired a shot but missed. The suspect ran but was quickly captured. Police say the suspect and victims all lived in the home but don't yet have a motive. Muskogee is a community of about 40,000, about 45 miles southeast of Tulsa. And in Florida, 2 FBI agents are dead, identified as a man and a woman, and 3 others wounded while trying to serve a search warrant in a case involving violent crimes against children. The FBI said today's confrontation happened in the Fort Lauderdale suburb of Sunrise. The suspect was also killed in the shootout after barricading inside the home.
Tonight, another part of the Biden transition is complete, and it's got an Indiana connection. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg today won confirmation from the Senate as U.S. Transportation Secretary. The vote was 86-13, with Indiana's 2 Republican senators voting in favor of his confirmation. Buttigieg now becomes the first openly gay person confirmed to a cabinet post. Buttigieg is tasked with advancing President Biden's wide-ranging agenda of rebuilding the nation's infrastructure and fighting climate change. Buttigieg is 39 years old and a former Biden rival from the Democratic nomination for president. And just in an all-new at 5 o'clock here, Amazon confirms that Jeff Bezos will step down as CEO of the company later this year. Bezos founded Amazon about 30 years ago as an online bookstore, and it has since become an online giant that sells everything. The Associated Press reports that Amazon says Andy Jassy will replace Bezos as CEO. Currently, Jassy runs Amazon's cloud business, but Bezos isn't done with the company. He will become Amazon's executive chairman. Amazon employs many Hoosiers at fulfillment centers and warehouses around central Indiana.
Still ahead on WRTV, Teachers Wanted, the program that can help steer you toward a new career in the classroom.
And some artists use paint, others prefer clay or wood, but one Indiana man has to wait on Mother Nature to produce his preferred material. His latest eye-popping creation coming up.
At 8 below, we'll tell you where that temperature is most likely on Monday morning, and we'll get into the Saturday night storm system that may impact everything. That's coming up.
Transformed my life.
Tonight, our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is putting the spotlight on public schools here in Indiana and across the country that are having a tough time filling teaching positions. WRTV's Megan Shin is looking into how Ivy Tech is helping Hoosiers go from campus to a career in the classroom.
For Jim Moore, IndyCar and race days were his life. Moore spent years on the racetrack when a layoff brought his work in the pits to a pit stop.
I was really nervous to go back to school because it had been almost 30 years.
But going back to school meant going to Ivy Tech's 2-year education certificate program. Looking back, Moore says it was a natural fit from his work as a race car mechanic.
They would put the younger mechanics with me, and then I would show them the ways of the team, how to build the race cars.
Now Moore's using his certificate to pursue his bachelor's degree at Western Governors University, or WGU, to become a full-time teacher.
They said, I have never seen someone come so prepared. Like, I am going in with 60 credits, and that's doing part to Ivy Tech in their program.
We think we have the best faculty. We think we have one of the best programs. And why spend more money going to a more expensive institution when you can get a great, an excellent education with us?
That's Andrew Buckle. He's the program chair for Ivy Tech's education program. Buckle also teaches and has dedicated his life to education.
What better job to have a platform to make a big change that's positive and encouraging?
It's a calling he says Hoosiers depend on.
From a moving Indiana forward standpoint, we need teachers. We just need them.
But Buckle says the pandemic has made Ivy Tech's education program even more valuable. Classes are virtual right now, but students can do service learning in person. So the institution partners future teachers with tutoring programs for a hands-on experience that gives back to neighborhood schools.
So we've tried to be as flexible with our student needs while also trying to provide some support to our schools and our local community partnerships.
It's quite fitting, the teacher of the future. Like, we're just always adapting and trying to become better teachers and trying to make learning easier for the student. So it's exciting.
MICAH Jones also graduated from Ivy Tech's education program, and he says it helped cut the cost of college and gave him transferable skills.
And you're getting the same education, or even sometimes better, because it's smaller classrooms.
In both of their opinions, education means job security, and it's a career they're passionate about.
I would highly recommend Ivy Tech.
Working for you, Megan Shin, WRTV.
Well, the next set of classes start in March, but you can apply to enroll now. We do have a link for you at hiringhoosiers.com.
Continuing to put the focus on hiring Hoosiers, Junior Achievement of Central Indiana is all about getting teens to think about jobs in demand. The group is kicking off its 2021 efforts focused on another year of career exploration done online due to the pandemic.
Understanding how important it is to be on top of your game every day. That means when you go to school with a purpose. You go with a plan. You have a passion for not just today, but for tomorrow and for your future.
Junior Achievement of Central Indiana recently received a $319,000 grant from the Lilly Endowment. The money will be used to support youth-related career exploration programs.
Well, these lingering cold temperatures mean there's still quite a bit of snow around, and the arrival of that measurable snow this past weekend also signaled the return of the snow artists. Look at this. Rick Horton's latest frosty creation outside of his home in Greenfield. Will you look at that? That is a snow baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. Rick has created many things out of the snow over the years, such as bald eagles, a UFO, and minions from the Despicable Me movies. He says he had run out of ideas, so he took requests from the public, and they suggested the child from the Disney Plus series. Rick says it took him 7 hours to complete this, and it looks amazing.
So does he paint it or dye it? That's what I'm just wondering.
Whatever he does, it works.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That's
very
great.
Creative. How fun. Well, more weather-related news to chat about. Today is also Groundhog Day, so of course all eyes were on Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania this morning to see if the famous groundhog would see his shadow. Only 16 members of the local Groundhog Club were present to see Phil make his forecast because of the coronavirus. Everyone else watched online. Here's the official proclamation.
When I turn to see, there's a perfect shadow cast of me. 6 more weeks of winter there will be.
Not a very popular forecast from Punxsutawney Phil. 6 more weeks of winter. Kevin, do you agree?
There will be.
I'll happily
Sure,
take
I always go with Phil.
You do, because I'll happily take another forecast.
People in New York City are saying it'll take 6 more weeks for the snow to melt that they had in New York City, where they had anywhere from 17 to over 20 inches. And for us, coldest air so far this season arriving, so maybe we're just kind of getting into gear here for more winter. 25 Saturday. Then, oh yeah, let me first take you into Hancock County. This is Riley Park in Greenfield. Beautiful park, 40 acres, and when the sun is shining, this probably next to tomorrow, the best day of the week. We've got 2 in a row here before we start to change things again on Thursday. Okay, let's talk about the weekend. 25 Saturday. Saturday night into Sunday, some light snow potential. That's the wild card, and I'll explain that in a second. The high that you see on Sunday is 15, but falling through the day. Saturday night into Sunday morning, potential for some light snow. There we are through the early morning hours on Sunday and then pulling away. A fresh blanket of snow, some of this light accumulating snow, may end up lowering our temperatures for Monday morning if we get this. Right now, 40 to 50% chance we'll see some light accumulation. And unlike last Saturday night, that was like raining snow, very heavy, wet snow, this would be a dry, powdery snow. But all really cold mornings in Indiana have a few things in common. Clear sky, relatively light wind, and often snow cover on the ground. And we may have those pieces of the puzzle in place. And temperatures 4 to 8 below once you go north of Indianapolis. There's the steely gray sky that's moved back in. These are clouds straight off of Lake Michigan all the way down into central Indiana. Temperature 29 in the metro area, 29 also in Greenfield at Riley Park. Temperatures during the day tomorrow with a mixture of clouds and sunshine and fairly light winds hit 34 for the afternoon high. Temperatures across the region anywhere from 30 to 36 in Bloomington, Terre Haute. That's kind of foreshadowing the warm-up that comes for Thursday. We'll push our temperatures into the lower 40s, change any wintry mix to rain. Then it may go back to a wintry mix before ending. Look at the strong winds, almost gusting to 40 miles per hour by the time we get to the evening. That will bring in the warmer temperatures. As you look at your 7-day forecast, the wintry mix to rain Thursday. We'll take a break. Friday, 25. Snow late Saturday night into Sunday. That blanket of snow sets up the very cold temperatures into the weekend, at least 4 below. That's the predicted temperature for Indianapolis right now. Record temperatures 11 below Sunday morning and 14 below on Monday. So for the moment, they seem just out of reach.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. A proposal to ban Indianapolis and more than 100 other Indiana cities from ever changing their names is now on its way to the House after receiving approval in the state Senate today. Republican Senator Jack Sandlin of Indianapolis said he sponsored the bill to prevent any movement toward renaming Indianapolis because it includes the word Indian following Native American protests that have led to the renaming of professional sports teams. The bill would prohibit 4 cities named in the state constitution: Indianapolis, Clarksville, Vincennes, and Evansville, and some 140 cities referenced in state laws from name changes. Coming up, an annual Indianapolis Festival is offering what organizers call an opportunity of a lifetime for local artists.
Any plumbing repair.
The arts community has been hit extremely hard by the pandemic. The curtain is still closed on many organizations, and that's one reason why a new opportunity for artists is especially important. Onyx Fest is an annual festival in Indianapolis exclusively for African American playwrights. This year, the festival will provide full production grants to 5 people. That includes royalties, pay for actors, directors, and other crew members, as well as money for sets, makeup, costumes, and marketing. Tajuddin Rowley, who directed an Onyx Fest production last year, says this type of support will benefit more than 5 winning playwrights.
Have an entity come behind and say, you know, everything's covered, actors' payments, you know, marketing, which is huge, all of those things. Now, you know, honestly, I believe these type of things is what will change the trajectory of the Black indie movement, you know, in terms of theater.
Entries must be original one-act plays between 45 minutes to an hour long. They will be submitted to a jury of theater professionals who will pick the winners. Vernon Williams, a playwright himself and the director of Onyx Fest 2021, says the festival can lead to other opportunities.
Part of this is structured in a way that is designed to take some of the more let's just say better received plays and to look at the possibility of taking them on the road, to entering them in other festivals, even to taking them into another format or platform visually.
For more information about the Onyx Fest grants, go to WRTV.com and click on this story. You can also watch last year's productions at butlerartscenter.org. A woman receives an unemployment benefits card, but she never actually applied for unemployment. Working for you and only on WRTV, we get to the bottom of what happened and why there is real concern over this kind of thing. That's all new at 6 p.m. here.
No one likes to be in debt. Next at 5:30, why now is a great time to try to pay down or get rid of your student loan.
.com.